There's a drum in the distance, there's a drum right here. There's a drum in the distance, there's a drum right here. Hey, this is Mark Shepard, and I'm beginning to think about a new challenge for myself. I do these 90-day challenges, and right now I'm on day 103 of my 90-day challenge to go deep into Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies, and that's something that I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep doing. But I'd like to pick something else that's going to challenge me, that's going to kind of push me. And the Better Man Project, I think, is going to be it. But I haven't made my commitment to, yes, this is what I'm going to do for the next 90 days. So I'm just playing here a little bit. I've been getting a lot of responses from guys who are buying my courses at honesthypnosis.com about overcoming shyness with women, getting over a girl, getting over a breakup, mastering your mojo, dealing with, if you're a highly sensitive man, if you're, kind of the opposite of your Donald Trump or Harvey Weinstein guy, you know what I mean? No woman is ever going to accuse you of sexual inappropriateness because you can't even say the word sex out loud. You can't even look at her in the eye. I've gotten tons and tons of emails from guys over the years. And here's a typical one. This guy was in his 40s. He was married, which is a miracle, but it was all the woman who basically chose him and told him to marry her. You know what I mean? He couldn't even look at a woman on the checkout line. And, if he saw that all the cashiers at the grocery store were women, he would just put the items back on the shelf and go to another store. I mean, he was that embarrassed by even talking to women. So there's I would say the majority of guys are terrified to just go up to a woman and say, "Hi, how are you? You look interesting. Are you really?" Or just, "Hi, let's have a conversation." Or, "Hi, just hi," right? And so one of the very first assignments I give to my clients and that I gave to myself, and it took me 5 years, people. You don't understand. It took me 5 years of doing this one thing, and that's just, I lived in New Haven, Connecticut, and I lived within walking distance of downtown, so I would walk downtown and I would just practice saying hi to people on the street. Male, female, old, young, families, whatever. And I actually found myself having conversations on the street with very attractive women. And the plan was not for me to pick them up. The plan was not for me to somehow get them to come home with me, because that's actually some weird fucking fantasy, right? And that may happen in a small percentage of the dynamics between men and women in the world, but it's unusual. And for me, as a massive introvert, I don't know if I want to take somebody home unless I've gotten to know them a little bit, right? The whole thing in dating is getting to know the other person. Do you really want to hang out with them? And so the big mistake I see young men making, and old men as well, is something we call one-itis. And that's where you think, oh, this woman, you see her in class, you see her across the hall, or whatever. You see her in the hallway and you're like, oh man, she's so hot. Oh God, I'd love to get to know her. And what you've done is you've put her on a pedestal. She is now, well, let's call this her. This is her skirt. She's a girl, right? She's got hair. She's got flowing hair. You've put her up on this massive pedestal, and we'll make you in blue to correspond with your blue balls, right? And you're like here. And you're looking up at her, frustrated. You've put her on a pedestal, right? And so she's like a movie star. And you know how you feel like, I don't know, I've been shy around famous people. You feel kind of awkward and shy. Everybody's always talking to her. Everybody's always telling her she's beautiful. Well, how do you do something different? And then you get stuck in your head. And you basically don't do anything because every scenario you put together in your head is embarrassing, humiliating, shameful, and you can't even admit that you're sexually attracted to her. Now, I got news for you guys. Attractive women understand that men want to have sex with them. They know that. So many women who I talk to about this say, yeah, it was interesting. My husband was the one who paid no attention to me. My girlfriend just told me a story of a woman, total geek, nerd, science chick, no fashion, flannel shirts, and she ended up doing a stint down in Antarctica as a scientist. And, you know, the ratio of men to women is like 2 women and 50 men, you know, who haven't seen a woman in 6 months, and it's dark and it's cold. You know, that's a situation. And she ended up meeting her husband there. And he was the guy that didn't even notice her, didn't look at her, didn't pay attention to her, didn't speak to her. And she like asked the other woman, who's that guy? Who's this guy? Right? And 6 months later they were married, right? So, and again, I'm not a big fan of marriage, just so you know up front. But the bottom line is, if you are mooning and pining over a girl, you're deleting the fact that there's a lot of other women out there, a lot of other girls out there, and you need to realize that you don't know this woman yet. You don't know her yet. How do you know you even want to hang out with her, right? You are just projecting your stuff onto her, onto the screen of her, you know, her looks. Now, that's not to say, I mean, we men are visual and we're kind of wired. We see a woman a quarter of the block, you know, a quarter of a block down the street, or a half a block, or 2 blocks down the street. We see a woman who's physically fit and under 50, and it's like, whoa, she's sexy, right? Women are wired totally differently. So in the Better Man Project, I want to introduce you guys to how your mind works and give you some tools so you can actually learn how to interact with how a woman's mind works. And I love to say the 2 most important orifices in a woman's body are her ears, the ones on either side of the largest sex organ of her body, which is her mind, right? I didn't say that very well, but anyway. So I wanted to read this letter from this guy, John, who's reached out to me. I think he's a high school student, and he says he can't afford my courses, and I've made my courses really cheap, people. So if you can't afford them, I'm not really buying that, but I'll give him the shadow of the doubt because he's a young kid. He doesn't even have a credit card, and he needs to get some Bitcoin because he could pay me in Bitcoin, and I'm going to start putting my Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Dash links, addresses below these videos. So if you want to support this work, you can go ahead and do that. But anyway, he said, "Hi Mark, I'm in a real sticky situation here and I don't know what to do. I was hoping you could give your input on it. It's been a week since I put the first note in her locker and she hasn't acted any different towards me. If anything, she's shown less interest. I can assure that it was the right locker I put it in and she has opened her locker at least once." Okay, so already, John, you're stalking her. That's creepy. Stop it. Right? Why are you paying so much attention to her? She doesn't know you exist, right? You don't know what she's thinking. And my advice to you is to just say hi to her. And my advice was to say, if you can't say hi to her, write a note that says, "Hi, this is John, and I see you every day in class, and I have social anxiety, and I'm having trouble just saying hello to you. Could you help me out?" That was my advice. It wasn't put a note in her locker that says hi. Like, that's creepy. Do you understand? And hopefully you guys get this. And John, since you're not paying me, I'm gonna use you as an example. And I want you to be able to take my feedback like a man. All right? Because you got to start somewhere, and this is good. All this stuff is coming up is perfect for you because it's time for you to deal with this, right? And your example is helping a lot of us. I was exactly like you. When I was in high school, I would have a crush on a girl, and I wouldn't be able to look at her or talk to her. And there were girls that I could hang out with and stuff, and a lot of them had crushes on me, but I was clueless. So you need to, like, wake the hell up here, okay? So I had a great chance to talk to her today about a test we took, but my nerves took hold of me as usual, and I didn't even wait for her to pass. I just got so nervous that I left before she passed by. Now, believe it or not, I get emails from women who have crushes on shy guys, and they're asking me for advice on how they should present, themselves to the shy guy. And the beauty is, if you are turning your back on her, if you are not giving her attention, you think that's bad, but that's actually good, because it's when we are a known subject for a woman that they lose interest, right? Women are intrigued by mystery, by what they're uncertain of. But the thing is, the mindset you have that you're applying here is exactly a feminine seduction strategy, right? Right? It's women that should be like, oh, I don't know if he knows if I exist. Oh, should I put a note in his locker? What should I do? Oh, I get so nervous when I'm around him, right? That's feminine. That's feminine energy. And it's time to stop that. I'm sorry. You got to start stepping into your masculine. And that's the other reason why I want to do this Better Man Project, is because we guys have been trained by women. Most of us have single moms. We don't have good male role models, so we either become these freakish Harvey Weinstein, Donald Trump, arrogant asshole pricks, or we become these wallflowers that can't even look at a girl. Like, there's got to be a happy medium. Like, how about healthy masculinity? All right. So, sorry, this is one of my soapboxes. So he goes on. I'm thinking of writing another note that leans towards more towards my interest in her rather than just saying hi. I don't know what I'd put in it, but if I do write another, I'd put it in the bottom slot of her locker, or tape it to her locker, or something like that, right before she gets to her locker, because I know an exact time she does get there, and if I tape it, then I would know for certain she got it, or I could even walk behind her and sneak it to her somehow. I don't know. Dude, stop! That's fucking stalking! Stop! Stop! You've got to stop, okay? And here's how you're going to do it. You're going to shrink her down in your mind. And I go into this in detail in my course, but evidently you don't think you can afford a $50 course. So, okay? So this is your punishment, right? This is how you're paying. You're the example. Shrink her down in your mind. Put her behind you in your awareness. And I'm not going to explain any more about that because that's in the course. So, but you got to stop. You got to stop obsessing about her, right? I've tried talking to her and still can't do it. I have no clue if she's interested in me or even if was to begin with, and I have no clue if she's getting the notes or cares about them. So you're my last resort. I'm desperate for an answer, any answer. I don't care if she turns me down anymore, which is good. That's hope. If you don't care whether she turns you down or not, you're carefree, right? But you do care, and you're not being honest. All right. I just can't stand not knowing and constantly guessing. I hope there's somehow a way out of my situation. Yeah. How many other girls are there in your school? There's probably 300 of them, right? And you're ignoring ones that probably have crushes on you. And the more interest you show in other women, the more this woman is going to be interested in you. That's like intro 101 to a woman's psychology, okay? What do you think? Should I keep going and try to get her or move on? After all, you are the ladies' man and have been through enough to know when to call it quits. If you could just help me out a little more, I'd appreciate it more than you'll ever know. And I just want to thank you for everything you've done so far and actually taking the time to help out somebody struggling. I hope to hear from you soon, John. So, John, here's the deal. You got to stop. Stop with the notes, and you need to start working on your own mind. You need to start imagining yourself as a man of mystery, and you need to shrink her down and make you big, all right? So here's what's got to happen. First of all, get her the hell off of this damn pedestal, right? You need to see her as a little girl. I mean, let's see if I can draw another woman here. There's her dress. God. All right. She's got the breasts. She's beautiful, right? So right now, she's looking this way, and you're looking at her, right? So let's change this. What we want, get her hair the right way. What we want is to have her looking up at you, and you, my friend, are here. You need to be the one she's looking up to. And maybe you are looking that way, right? So she's looking up to you, and you are looking that way, right? And you can literally do this physically whenever you're in her presence. You can smile at her and then turn your back to her, right? It's called negative body language, right? And then I do a whole lot more of that in my courses. But the thing is, the first thing you have to do is stop obsessing about her. And how do you do that? How do you stop thinking about what you don't want to think about? And this is an anxiety, and I totally cover this in my Crush Anxiety course, but the bottom line is, you can't stop thinking about something by trying to stop thinking about something, because your unconscious mind can't process a negative, right? So right now, don't think of a blue tree, right? What did you do? You thought of a blue tree. Don't think of a purple elephant. You have to think of a purple elephant. Don't think of this girl. Well, you just thought of the girl, right? So the only way you can stop thinking about something that you don't want to think about is to think about something else. So think about all the other girls in your school. I want you to make a list of all the other girls in your school who are remotely attractive, right? The ones that, I don't know, in your mind, they're medium to attractive, right? Not the ones you're not interested in, right? And I want you to start just saying hi to girls in the hall. And I want you to start saying hi to guys in the hall. I want you to start saying hi to teachers in the hall. Do you know what I mean? I want you to just start saying hi to everybody. That's your assignment for today. Forget this girl, and the more you forget her, the more she's likely to be interested in you. And you're so like, is she interested in me or not? She doesn't know if she's interested in you, because women don't judge a man by his looks so much as they judge a man by his character. How does she feel around you? And if you're all nervous, what's she going to feel? Mirror neurons, my friend. She's going to feel all nervous, but not in a good way. Not that fluttery kind of nervous, right? So, number one, stop thinking about this girl. Stop putting notes in her locker. Stop following her around. Stop watching her. Ignore her. Forget about her. Boom. Put her behind you. Practice. You just learned something. This is practice. She was your purpose problem. Like, my music screwed me up so much that it forced me to work on myself. And I'm still working on myself because my music is a challenge for me. But all the other stuff has been resolved, right? Because I've worked on myself. So this is your purpose problem. This is getting you to work on yourself. And the number one thing is forget about her, shrink her down, put her behind you, whoop. And I want you to start saying hi to everyone. Everyone. Because you're not ready for this girl. And girls in high school, if that's where you are, you might be in middle school. I have no clue how old you are. Girls are so far ahead of boys, particularly shy, quiet, intelligent, kind-hearted, gentle men, young men who have no clue how to interact with the female of the species. So hopefully that's helpful, John, and hopefully it's helpful to you other guys. If it is, please leave a comment below, and please subscribe. I'm going to start doing this every day for the next 90 days, except Sundays, which I take off. And so every day I'm just going to bring something about the Better Man Project to you guys. And if you want to go deeper with what I do, check out honesthypnosis.com. I've got a ton of courses there. And I will see you in the next one. I don't know what theme I'm going to use for my music intro and outro yet, but this is the beginning of the Better Man Project. Hopefully it's helpful. I want to hear from you guys. I'm not going to skimp on the content, so hopefully you're not just looking for some little, 1 minute thing, because I want to go deep with you guys, and I'm willing to give you a ton of stuff for free because I care, and because I wish someone had given me the advice and the guidance and the mentorship that I can offer guys now. And the bottom line is, I've worked with guys who make a lot of money, who have a lot of power, and who are still afraid of women. So let's get over this now, okay? Because women are not to be afraid of. Women are to absolutely enrich and delight our experience of being men in the world, and vice versa. And we are here in our masculine energy to to connect with them in their feminine energy. And both of us, men and women, are screwed up, particularly in America, about our roles and what's correct and what's not appropriate, and it gets confusing as hell. All right, so I'm here. Hopefully that can help, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much, and thank you, John, for your willingness to ask and to reach out, and I appreciate that. If any of you guys have questions, please let me know. Leave them in the comments, or you can hit me up on Honest Hypnosis. There's a honesthypnosis.com. There's a contact form there, and you can reach out to me. All right, that's it for now. I will see you in the next one. Peace, grooviness, over and out.
There's a drum in the distance, there's a drum right here. There's a drum in the distance, there's a drum